Ladies and gentlemen, look up in the sky. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's me. Einstein and Wall Street from the floor of New York Stock Exchange. Boom! The ceiling. The floor. What a wild and crazy day here. Look, we closed right off the lows of the day. Let's look at this. Let's talk about it. All right, July 13th. We're closed now Monday here. 1.1 billion on the tape. You know what? I have to admit, my best shot. It's like a very lackluster day. I think we're in the corridor, right? People realize that earnings are about to come up, right? We had a weekend where there was a lot of chatter about what's happening still with the engagement with the Middle East. We don't know what's going on there. There was a lot of Lindsey Graham passed away. I mean, there's so much like geopolitical and just sort of news. I don't know if it's newsworthy, but it's truly breaking news situation. So obviously, my prayers go out to his family and all that, but it's just like an odd spot in history where, how the market relates to geopolitical stuff, how the market relates to the economy, how the market relates to the president, the administration. These are all big deal things, right? Brent is back up. Look, that's a huge move. Why is the stock market down the way it is today? Down 60 handles on the S&P. It's a clearly one-for-one off the fact that Brent oil is now, for a while there, we were seeing that when the market goes up, when oil goes down, market goes up. When oil goes up, market goes down. Today was a perfect example of that. We haven't seen Brent in the 80s for a while, and then we had not seen Brent in the 70s for the longest time, right? We've been hanging out above 110 for the longest time. So the fact that we're back up $7 on this day for oil is a huge deal, right? Not good for anything, okay? Russell off a bit, transport's up, VIX. So look, with oil rallying back at such a high level, okay, and the VIX up 15%. They're talking about some fear mode, anxiety coming back into the market, and we have to address that. We have to acknowledge what's really happening here. We've got a lot of uncertainty around what's happening in the Middle East again, a lot of breaking news around that. So, all that being said, you know what? I can't really get a sense of it. I think the market was down for the most part in anticipation of earnings perhaps, but for the most part, I think it's really an oil trade, right? When you've got oil up $7 after we've been sort of on a trajectory on the downside for a while now, that's going to be a big deal. We're going to see, where do we go with oil from here? Where is it? Is this a reversal? Because we've been on a trajectory on the downside for a while now. The fact that we're up $7 on oil is a big deal. Now, is this the beginning of something way bigger that we really need to start analyzing? It has anything to do with what's happening in the Middle East, the Straits of Hormuz and all that. Anyway, you know what? I don't want to overanalyze this market. There is a lot going on, but I think we're in anticipation of earnings starting, right? That's going to be what's really going to take this market on the upside. Are we going to hit resistance, or are we going to just, it's going to be the thing that moves this market. So keep your eyes open. I'm the Einstein of Wall Street. I'm taking the day off. I'll see you in a couple of days. Have a great night. I'm out of here.